What it do? Sports Betting Nation, Ace is high here with you. And I got the man. Hey, Mr. Hardways, you tagged along. So happy you're here.
Aces, it's good to be here. It's good to talk to you. How's your 4th of July weekend going?
Oh, it's going good. Busy. You'd think for a holiday weekend, things would slow down. No. That's not the case. Plus, you got to keep up and keep making money with all these bets, stay in the game. So good weekend. Busy, though. Yourself?
It's certainly busy. There was a lot of sports going on this weekend. Besides the regular Major League Baseball, we had a PGA event that wrapped up yesterday. I touched on that on the pod yesterday. We had the Grant Park 220 in NASCAR. We've got Wimbledon going on. We've got Major League Soccer. So there's no shortage of sports happening this weekend. And with 4th of July, the holiday tomorrow, we've got a full slate of Major League Baseball. And then coming up, we've got the All-Star break, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I'm not going to join you with excitement there. I'm not a big all-star bettor. I know every year you flip that coin and you're picking National League or American League. I like to stay away from it. It's too random. Some players show up, they're there to win. Other players are just there to have fun. Not my betting. So I guess you'll be the man letting the people know what to bet there.
I sure will. On the All-Star game, I find usually better lines on that if you search multiple books. And of course, that's kind of what we're here for. But the home run derby is nice. And I wouldn't consider this to be sharp betting at all, but just to have some fun, play around. I know that Pete Alonso's in it this year. I'm almost certainly Shohei is going to be one of the top guys again this year. So we'll see what it looks like when all the lines come out. But it's just fun if you got a little extra cash lying around to play some bets on the home run derby, maybe the matchups or overall, and having some fun for the All-Star game itself. But
all right, Mookie, let's get some home runs. That's where I'm going to be at with my money in that home run derby. But hey, it's not all baseball. Can we jump into tennis first today? Is that going to throw you off too much?
No, let's go for it. Tennis, Wimbledon, I'm excited for it this year. I'm trying to learn more about it because it is a sport that there's plenty of inefficiencies in the market, plenty of opportunities to bet and make some money. But what do you like this year? I think I mentioned on our Discord last night that Tsitsipas was plus 8,000 on, I believe it was PointsBet, and you had mentioned that he actually opened at plus 10,000.
He did. He opened at plus 10,000 on DraftKings. For those of you lucky enough to get that bet or lucky enough to be able to take any bet on DraftKings for that matter. So that was a good number. Obviously, been bet down on that graphic you showed. It was as low as plus 4,000, no? On Tambi books?
Yeah, on Bet Rivers and Barstool, it was plus 4,000. It was at plus 5,000 on MGM, I believe, and plus 5,500 on Caesar. So definitely value there if you were looking to bet him already and you hadn't bet him already at PointsBet. If you can't take it on PointsBet for whatever reason, you could also get it at plus 7,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, and you probably mentioned it in the Discord server because you knew that's where my money would be. I always bet on Mr. Tits, as I like to call him. He's the man that comes through for me sometimes. And you get a good number. I mean, that plus 10,000, that was an outstanding number. If you're betting and it's your only choice, you're betting that plus 4,000, I will say that's not such a great number. He's got Alcaraz in his bracket, and that's not a man you want to face. You got Cameron Norrie there at Great Britain, always performs well at Wimbledon, close to his home, obviously. If you're Tsitsipas, you don't want to play that man before the quarterfinals, but you have to. You don't really have a choice. I mean, we got the news. Kyrgios is out. I don't know if you saw that. It just came through the wire, but it's unfortunate he won't be participating in Wimbledon this year.
No, I didn't see that. Who did he lose? I'm just kind of scrolling through the scores right now, looking for any major upsets. I did not hear that he lost. Who did he lose to?
He didn't lose. It was a walkover. He had to withdraw from the tournament because he said that some x-rays, I believe, came back on some ligaments in his wrist, and he just couldn't play. He got injured, so he had a walkover. I hope the books do the honorable thing and give back any futures bets for that. But he was actually scheduled for the tournament, and it was a canceled match, not him withdrawing before the tournament starts. So, hey, I hope you guys are okay in that book. But, hey, he's not an option anymore, really. So what are we going to do? We're going to bet the chalk, Mr. Djokovic, at minus money? I'm not going to do that. Is that where you're going?
Well, he was minus 140 coming in, and he won against Keshin in straight sets today. I can't place a field this large when you've got so many really good competitors in it. How do you take a favorite at minus whatever it is now? Probably minus 160, I would bet, after his win today. I just can't. I can't do that. There's just too many things that could go wrong. Any number of options. I mean, Djokovic is the man for sure, but are you taking him to win?
No, I wouldn't take the chalk at that. I mean, I think he will win the tournament if I had to pick who's going to win it. No, that's a no-brainer, especially now that Kyrgios is out. Kyrgios is the one I might have, bet against Joker. He didn't take him down. Obviously, Joker took down Kyrgios last year, but it was in Wimbledon championships. The fans were behind him. Kyrgios played a great match against Joker. At times, you thought he might have pulled it off, but he didn't. But it's just Djokovic, when he gets to Wimbledon and he's in his prime shape, which he is right now, there's a reason that you said it's in the minus 160s. Probably you're exactly right. It's minus 165. So unless you're going to take Alcaraz in the futures winner, I wouldn't really take anything in this tournament, to be honest with you. I'm going to throw a little bit on Tsitsipas just because he's my man. If you're looking for somebody like Andy Murray, maybe, I don't think he's going to win. I think the odds aren't great, but it is Wimbledon, and maybe Murray comes through one last time. You get that plus 6,500 number, but, that's not for me. I'm staying away from the men for sure. Maybe the women, though. Have you checked out those women yet?
I'm looking at it right now. I was just glancing through the matches there. It's been pretty quiet. We did have, actually, I would say the big upset of the day across both men and women was Corey Goff losing. She was number 7 ranked, and she lost in straight sets to Kenin 6-4. Well, I'm sorry, she hasn't lost yet. I don't know what I'm seeing.
No, I'm watching it on the TV right now. You are right, though. She did lose. She dropped the first set, and my TV's showing anyways. They're at 4-4 right now in the second set. So she hasn't dropped it yet, but she did drop that first set.
Yeah, I just saw the bold, and the bold usually means the winner of the match. So that was my fault. She has not lost. She did drop the first set. They're tied right now, 3-3. Across the women, was there anything that stuck out from a futures standpoint that you were looking at that you saw that could provide value? Swiatek is the favorite. I'm looking at DraftKings guys right now, plus 250. Rabakina at plus 500 and Sabalenka at plus 550. So unlike the men where you've got the overwhelming favorite, you do have a really big favorite here. And then I think it's Alcaraz at plus 400 behind him. But you got 3 that are kind of in the mix for the women at the top.
I mean, Sabalenka, I think, would be my bet at that plus 550 number. That's where I would go with my money. Rybakina, I mean, if you want to bet on the winner from last year, and that's the only reason I do it is because she won it last year, but it's tough to win Wimbledon 2 years in a row. I think Swiatek is obviously in the best form. She just won the French Open, correct? So she's playing the best tennis out of any of the women. But Sabalenka, I mean, she is a competitor. She is not someone, if you are in that women's bracket, you want to come up against. So that's where my money would be. It's the 4th of July. Maybe we go being proud Americans. Maybe we go with one of the Americans in Madison Keys at plus 3,500, or even Coco Gauff. I don't know who this Corey Goff is. I saw some of the books had that name, Corey Goff, but she's generally known as Coco Gauff. That's how I call her anyways. But maybe her at plus 2,200, just for the sake of 4th of July. Let's go America.
Yeah, we could certainly do that. And if you have, like I said, with the All-Star break, a little extra spare cash lying around, you want to throw some for fun for 4th of July and patriotism, by all means, go for it. We got a couple of weeks of Wimbledon going on before the finals, certainly. So a lot of tennis action to be had. We also have Major League Baseball action, day games, a couple of day games today, even though it's a smaller slate. Right now, we got the Cubbies are up on the Brewers at the end of 2, 3-0, and the Astros are whomping up with the Rangers already, 6-0. It looks like the Astros have 3 team home runs, and that's where all of their runs have come from, even though Texas was the favorite. And then I mentioned on the podcast yesterday, it was odd to see the Astros being the dog, even on the road with how well they've been playing. Texas was minus 145, and currently they're getting blanked through 2.
I was happy that the Cubbies were up, but the Astros, I wouldn't have bet again. I didn't catch your podcast yesterday. What did we released this late episode? I didn't catch it.
It was late. It was after family stuff. I thought I would get it out in advance of, since there was a couple day games today, take a look at some lines, talk about the Grand Park 220 a little bit and who won that and how that race went, talk about the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I mentioned that Ricky Fowler ended up finally getting his first PGA win since 2019. So we covered a few different kind of those ancillary sports, more so than Major League Baseball, just to get some information out to the people, because it's a challenging time to stay up with everything going on with all the sports betting with this weekend, and have a weird, because today's technically a work day, tomorrow's a holiday, etc. So just want to get the people some information. Is there anything in the games today? It's a smaller slate. I think it's only 9 games today on Major League Baseball. The Braves are playing the Guardians. Braves minus 145. That's the best line that I'm seeing right now. Did you look at that game at all?
Yeah, you're correct. The best line on DraftKings right now, minus 140. And that's a game that I did look at. It hasn't moved much from the open, the Braves line. I expected that money would come in real quick on the Braves here at that minus 140. I mean, they've been hot. Have you been watching? Mr. Strider yesterday gets win number 10 on the season. Come on, we're not even to the All-Star break. The man has 10 wins. I mean, the Braves are hot. This minus 140 number with Elder on the mound, excuse me. I got to take them to take down the Guardians today.
Yeah, that's if you are back in the Guardians, best line that you can find is plus 125 over on points bet. They often have the best line for these underdog Major League Baseball lines. It's tough. I mean, we're just barely halfway through the season in terms of games played. Strider's got 10 wins already. This team is not slowing down on offense by any stretch. Any given day, one of 8 people on the Braves can hit a home run. It's almost a guarantee that they're going to hit some home run. So, well, it's on Dinger Tuesday. It's a matter of picking which one, right? Like he's trying to find the guy that you think is going to go long that day. It's all about the odds. But yeah, it's tough to not back the Braves today. If you want to look at the Orioles and the Yankees game, that game is at 6:05. It is in New York, but beware, there's some weather coming up on the East Coast. Strong possibility that game gets either delayed or even postponed outright. But if you are backing the Yankees, they're plus 100. Best odds are on Caesar Sportsbook. If you want to back the Orioles, minus 112 on FanDuel. Let's take a look and see who's on the mound there. We've got Germán on the mound for the Yankees, 5-5 record with a 4.54 ERA versus Tyler Wells, who's actually had a really good season himself. 6-4 record for the Orioles, and then 3.21 ERA. Is there any other game that you saw that kind of piqued your interest today?
Well, that wouldn't pique my interest. I actually saw the Yankees at plus 110. I wish I could quote you the sports book I saw it at, but you mentioned they're at plus 100 right now. I like them at even money. I like to call him Mr. German. You pronounce it correctly. I believe Mr. Herman on the mound for the Yankees, but I like to back them here. I like them maybe to come through. We're talking about a team in the Braves that is really hot, that are really hot right now. Yankees, a team that are expected to be really hot. They are sporting that 46-38 record, which is very, very respectable, a very good team in their own right, but they're not performing to their standards. I think maybe they try to get this one, get a couple more before that All-Star break, get their name back out there. But as far as another game, I mean, Padres Angels, you got to look at that, right? We got the Angels the Angels opponent minus 190. Can you believe that after all they've been doing?
Yeah,
Mr. Shohei Ohtani?
It is surprising to see that on the mound for the Angels. You've got Blake Snell, though. He doesn't have the greatest record, but this, I think, is a product of not getting a run support because he's got a 3.21 ERA, 114 Ks to 42 walks. And you've got Barria on the mound for the Angels, 2-3 record with 2.92 ERA. It's tough to kind of wrap my head around that plus 170 number. It's higher than I would have thought for the Angels, and minus 190 for the Padres. That's on points bet. I just don't know why the books are seeing that. I'm probably going to back the Angels in this one. Shohei is on an absolute tear. Mike Trout can light it up at any given moment. Their pitching staff isn't terrible. They got pretty good relievers. I don't know. I don't know what the books are seeing here.
Well, the books actually, they opened it at plus 150. So, somebody else is seeing something because you get that. You said bet that plus 170. You might have talked me into this one, and probably not something I would normally bet against the Padres, especially when they're playing the Angels. But that plus 170, that's a good number from actually where the books thought it would be at the plus 150. So, hey, maybe I'll put a little bit quid there on that money line.
Yeah, I think you should. But I do want to circle back to the Orioles-Yankees game. I'm probably going to go against you on that one. I'm like
you're going to go against me.
Yeah, I'm liking the Orioles in this one. You can get minus 110. They're the bare favorites in this one because you got the Yankees plus 100. So they are the favorites. And the Yankees, they can't put runs on the board without Judge. And I don't know if it's just you don't got guys on base or the mentality is different right now. They're all in a slump. Yeah, so they put up 9 runs the other day, but just taking a look back at their previous games and their schedule, it's not been pretty. 1 run last night. They won 6-2 the night before, but 4 runs before that. 4 runs before that. 1 run 2 games ago. It's just been a tough stretch for the Yankees. So I like the Orioles in that one.
All right. Well, hey, let's do this. Let's put a little $5 wager on this. How about that? How about $5 straight up? Only this is Aces High Casino. So if we don't go the full 9 and get a final, our bet's off. How about that?
Okay, we'll go. I like it. We'll go gentleman's wager, $5, and we'll see. Now, Shohei, let's just circle back to the Angels. I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but I do want to mention the Angels. Shohei, because of the absolute tear that he's been on, hitting home runs. He had a 454-footer last night, number 31 of the season. His line to hit a home run all the way up to plus 430 on FanDuel. So if you were back in Shohei, now that is a pitcher-specific matchup. That's why it's so high. It's not usually that high. But that is better by 65 points than any other line. The best you can get. Now, I'm surprised to see BetMGM at plus 375. Usually their home run lines are terrible. That's better than 370 on DraftKings and all the way down to 350 on Barstool and Bet Rivers. So if you are betting Shohei Ohtani, FanDuel is the place to do it. Make sure he's in a lineup, of course, because FanDuel's got that weird rule where if they don't start, but they come in to pinch hit, the bet stands, where every other book is if they don't start, it's a void. But if you are betting, make sure he's in the lineup plus 430 over on FanDuel.
That's good information to have. You always got to know the rules. You don't know the rules, you are starting in a losing position.
110%. That's probably going to be it for us today. There's not a whole lot going on. It's the day before 4th of July. We are going to come back to you later this week with our series spotlight, which will be the Angels and the Dodgers, a couple of really hot teams right now. So they've got a 2-game stretch going on Friday and Saturday. We'll be back on that. We'll try to get the real Jay-Z on the podcast later this week to talk some Major League Soccer, maybe some international stuff that starts popping up. I do want to mention a plus EV bet for fans out there. This kind of goes against what I was saying earlier, but the Padres game today, Padres minus 1.5 first 5 innings is plus 150 on Barstool. That's better than the fair value line of plus 144. So it's a 2.5% plus EV bet. So if you're betting just strictly EV, that is one for you to take a look at. Aces, anything that you want to leave the people with today?
No, I like that plus EV bet. I like backing an ace, Mr. Snell on the mound in the first 5. We got plus EV. I'm putting it in now. Let's make some money.
I'm going to put it in now too. And that doesn't necessarily go against our Angels bet because they can certainly come back later in the game. That is first 5 innings, San Diego run line minus 1.5. Again, that's it for us today. Aces, good to talk to you. Enjoy the rest of today. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday, and we'll be back with the people later this week. As we say over here at Sports Betting Intel, you don't always have to bet, but when you do, wager wisely.